and welcome, and also thank you for 20,000 subscribers. I know I'm a little bit late with this, but kind of hit 20,000 at the same time as all the Warhammer 3 stuff, so it's a little bit late, but nevertheless, thank you all so very much for your extreme support and getting me to 20,000 subscribers. It's not really anything that I ever thought I would ever get to when I started this channel. Not really, I don't have the words, I just never thought I'd get here, so I cannot seriously thank you enough. I know it's really cliche, oh thank you very much, but no, I really do mean it. Thank you so very much for getting me 20,000 subscribers. And as promised, here is the 20k Q&A. So I've gone through every single comment that I can see on that Q&A thread on the community post, and I've answered, I think, all of them, unless there's some which were duplicates, like some people asked the same question, so I'll only answer one of those, the first one that I saw. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. And one more time, thank you so very much. So first up, Dixbyflopping69, did you see yourself becoming popular so quick on the platform, or was this more of a let's see where this takes me kind of situation that just worked out really well? Now, I really don't think it's been that quick. It is really come and gone in terms of growth. Like, it took me just over a year to get to 1,000, and then it took me a week to get to 2,000, and then a few months to get to 3,000, and then another week to get to 4. It's really been that sort of growth where I'll just have a video that does super well, like the every single faction ranked did super well, got me a ton of growth, and then since then it's just been phew. It's really peaks and valleys with my growth. So no, I don't really think it has been particularly quick. If you do, then I suppose I should be happy, but I think that's probably just a problem that I'm having, where I can't really accept that I'm growing quickly. You always want to grow fast. It's quite addicting. But yeah, last year was really great for growth due to lockdown, of course. Obviously last year wasn't great in general, but for growth on the channel it was really good, since there were a lot of people at home, so there were a lot of people watching YouTube content, so it made it a little bit easier to grow quite quickly. But definitely when I started making the guides, it was with the idea that guides are something that does generally grow quite well. So I did think it was going to do better than the random let's plays that were going to get like 10 views a video back in the day, but I never expected it to get to this height at all. Anubav Banerjee says, which 3 Warhammer fantasy characters would you call to back you up in a fight, and what makes you sure that they would show up? Congrats on Masso, thank you very much. Now, if we're talking any 3, I'd probably call some super overpowered ones, you know, like Kolek, Gorok, and then probably Vlad the Chad, because obviously. But to be fair, if you want someone that's actually going to show up and isn't just going to abandon you for their own personal gain, then the only real person that you're going to be able to rely on is the dwarves, because if not, that's a grudging. A Graveguard of Sylvania asked, what did you choose for your GCSE? Or didn't they have that when you were in school? I'm not that old, okay, and I'm also not that young. Okay, so for my non-UK viewers out there, GCSE is the qualifications that you do from about ages 12 to 16-ish. So we all do maths, English, and then everyone has to do all the 3 sciences, so biology, chemistry, and physics. I then chose 4 options, which everyone does. That was triple science, so I just did extra science lessons and 3 extra science papers at the end of the year, which was loads of fun. I did geography, GCSE PE, and computer science. Yeah. What a mix. What's your least favourite legendary lord and why? Telman Ghost, because fuck Ghost, man. He's useless, they don't have any lore, everyone hates him. How long do you plan on making content, and what do you plan on doing afterwards? Now, without getting into my actual age, I would say if I'm still doing this in like 10 years, and I still haven't made it, you know, to the point where I can call it a career, then I'll probably have to give it up and, you know, move on with my life. But hopefully if the content is doing well in that next 10 years, then I'll probably just keep doing it. And I'm aware that most channels do not make it to 10 years, you know. YouTube is only however many years old at this point, and there are very few channels that have been here since day one that are still sticking around, still getting the same excellent viewership. So I think if I'm still here and able to do decently in 10 years, then I'll be quite happy with that. As for after content, no idea. Thanks to the existential dread. Henry Tucker asked, did you have a content creator that you looked up to, or who made you want to make videos? Or was it more like you just fancied having a go? Now, being a young UK lad, I grew up with Minecraft channels like the Yogscast, and I saw them making videos as a job, and I was just like, that is so cool. I want to play video games and just record it and talk over it, and then that's my job. Obviously, it's not as easy as that anymore. You kind of have to, you know, put a little bit more work into it than just Let's Plays these days, but nevertheless, it's still something I want to do. I still love it. I even don't mind editing most videos. It can be quite a fun experience. But yes, I've actually been making videos for like 10 years, off and on, obviously, not been making consistent videos for 10 years, but since I was a very young lad. Maybe I'll show you some of those one day, but not today. Where do you see yourself and the channel 1 year from now? Well, hopefully, Warhammer 3 will have dropped by this time next year. If it hasn't, I'll be very sad and very disappointed, but hopefully CA's got this in the bag and they're going to be able to release it before the end of this year. Let's not pull a cyberpunk. So I'll most likely be making Warhammer 3 content. By that point, there'll probably be some Lord pack out at that point. That'll be a fair few months into the game's life cycle if it's come out. So I'll probably just be making content for all the races. I'm planning on getting those done as soon as the game's out, so they're there as soon as people are playing. But yes, probably just making Warhammer 3 content, milking it, maybe a few other games. You never know. I don't really have any of those like long-term growth things, because I just think, oh, well, if I say I want to get to 21,000 subscribers by the end of the month, then it doesn't happen, I'll be really sad. So I just hope that the channel is doing at least steady growth and is increasing more exponentially than, what's the opposite in exponential? Like, that's exponential where it goes like that, and then opposite would be where it goes like that and like flattens off. It's plateauing. I hope it doesn't do that. I hope it continues to grow nicely. Another one from the Graveguard of Sylvania. Who is your favorite legendary lord to play? Probably a bit generic. Be bad with questions. Don't even worry about it. My favorite is Vlad the Chad. I'm actually playing him right now over on Twitch. I don't know if I'll still be by the time that this comes out, because this is going out on Monday and I stream on Sunday. But yes, Vlad the Chad, he's just great. He's a great vampire count and I love them. He's a fantastic fighter and his skill tree is one of the most overpowered in the game. He's tons of fun. Ever be interested in doing a series where you change the starting location of the faction, such as Gelt in Lustria or Skrolk in the Empire? Wouldn't know how to do that, but it does sound like a lot of fun. Maybe once I've finished a lot of the guides. I still have a lot of videos planned for Warhammer 2, but they're probably just going to roll into Warhammer 3 since it is, hopefully, relatively close to releasing. Great content, man. As always, keep up the good work. Thank you very much, Sam Canuck. Is there any chance that in future videos you could not only show a late game army composition, but also an early and mid game optimal composition? Maybe even a small video per faction, just to help us noobs booting up a new campaign. Now, this is something I would like to do, and it is an idea that I will probably steal. I think having army compositions for the early game, so this is what you want to be aiming for, then the mid game, and then the final end game composition once you have all the units. I also want to do guides for every single legendary lord. Think Noob's Guide, but rather than being, funny and full of lore, being full of, concise information of just, if you are starting a campaign as this lord, these are the things that you need to know, and this is exactly how you can do it to achieve victory. But from where I started, I had to kind of play catch up, so I want to cover all the races, as one, all vampire counts, all empire, and so on and so forth, because it just allowed me to get more content that reaches a wider audience quicker, and that's why I decided to do that first. But I would definitely like to do videos for every single legendary lord. And we all know that I want to do the A to Z legendary lord guides, but it's a super long-term project, and with Warhammer 3 looming, it might just be better off to wait until Immortal Empires or whatever it's going to be called drops. What are your plans after you have finished your Warhammer content videos? Do you plan on releasing any more merch? And do you think you might go to a convention such as PAX, EA, or something like that when lockdown is lifted? God, I have no idea. I do want to branch out to more games that aren't, Warhammer 2 and generally Warhammer related. I've done the video on Frostpunk, I did the video on Iron Harvest. Hopefully going to have another one of those coming out soon. But it's just difficult finding content that fits what you guys want to watch and that fits what I'm actually interested in making. Because if I'm not interested, I can't really phone it in, if you haven't noticed. So I'm very much trying to find that crossover and find some good content for you and for me. I do plan on releasing more merch. In fact, I have a design that I have actually ready. I just haven't got around to placing it on the store. So, if I have got around to it, there might be an ad here. If not, then we'll just have to wait and see. I would absolutely love to go to a convention. I've been to EGX a couple of times, which I believe is just the name for Eurogamer these days. I was planning on going with my friends in 2020. Obviously, the world ended, so we're not going then. And we might either go this year or next year. I think the problem is this year, the only one is being held in London, which is a little bit far for me to travel for a day. So if the other one comes back to where it has been before in Birmingham, that's a little bit more accessible for me. Might be prying too much, but just interested to know, when you got that new job, did you mention your YouTube in your interview? Well, Joseph Sawyer, I did. It makes me incredibly uncomfortable to talk about YouTube to anyone that isn't like my direct friends, even talking to my family about it. It just makes me uncomfortable. It makes me feel weird. It's like, oh yeah, just record videos and post them to the internet and then people watch them. It's a weird thing to talk about. But yes, I did bring it up and it did help because I'm now the resident video specialist, which can be fun. Rowan Alltime. Also, what videos do you plan to do when Warhammer 3 comes out? Of course, the guides. We have 8 factions launching when Warhammer 3 comes. So we got Kislev, we got the 4 Chaoses, we got Cathay, and probably, maybe Chaos Dwarves or Ogre Kingdoms or whatever it's going to be. We're going to have 8. So when Warhammer 3 launches, I want to be right on it. I want to be, okay, literally day one, from the moment I can launch a guide, I want them coming out every single week, maybe multiple times a week if I can afford to do it, because that way it'll just be really good for the channel, and it'll also be really good, for me and for you to have the information as soon as the game comes out. So yes, guides, obviously, and then of course the individual legendary lords can go back and do those, start the A to Z, and then if any DLCs come back, I can just retroactively add one on later. I also have a final video I want to do on Warhammer 2, which will be my love letter to it. And I don't want to talk about that too much because I haven't really planned it yet. And also it's going to be a very long and intimate video, I suppose you could say. But aside from that, probably the usual stuff like more guides and more rankings. Small Gang has asked, what games did you grow up with and which are your favorites? Now, in my childhood, I was on the Game Boy Advance, the PS2, and eventually the Nintendo DS when I was just a touch older. Now, the ones that stick out to me the most were Scale on PS2. I've actually been playing this over on streams after I've finished the general stream. I have about half an hour of Scalar just to cool off and relive my childhood, and it's been loads of fun. Aside from that, I played Percy Jackson's King Kong a lot on the PS2, and also Star Wars Battlefront 2, legendary game, the original. If you haven't got that, you can get it on Steam for like $1, and it's a beautiful game. The campaign is fantastic, the instant action is incredible, the space combat, the ground combat, it's all wonderful, baby. And then as for Nintendo games, obviously everyone plays Zelda. Some particular ones I played a bunch with the Phantom Hourglass on DS, and of course Spirit Tracks on the DS. Love both of those games, and of course Pokemon Diamond, which was my personal first Pokemon game, and I actually own one of the most recent Pokemon games, and you know what, it still plays the same and I still love it. Jackson B has asked what you're most looking forward to in Total War Warhammer 3. All the new factions, of course, they look incredible so far, but I think by far the most exciting stuff is all the reworks, and I still believe that they are coming. Sieges, minor settlements, everything, baby, it's all getting reworked. It's all going to be built relatively from the ground up for the ultimate Total War Warhammer experience. I'm so excited for that. There are so many things to be excited for. And of course, who can forget Mortal Empires 2 or Immortal Empires or whatever I decide to call it. It's going to be huge. The turn time is going to be immense. I can't wait. How many hours do you have in Total War Warhammer 2, and do you have all the DLC? I think at this point, I'll probably have over 1,000 hours in Warhammer 2, or very, very close, which is on the low side for content creators. Actually, most of them have several thousand. I think Legend Total War's got like tens of thousands or something ridiculous, which is pretty disgusting, to be honest. But yeah, 1,000 hours, not too bad. And yes, I do own all the DLC. I've actually bought most of them myself. But I think any that have come out since I've been in the partner program, which I think is from about Grom the Paunch onwards, or maybe Shadow and the Blade onwards, I've got from the partner program, because they give you keys for the early access and then they work for the full thing afterwards. So, you know, thanks for that, lads. Random Wingman has asked, since the Twitch chat know you like a brew every now and then, what's your preferred drink to relax? With that, is there a preferred brand that you stick to? Now, I'm assuming you're talking about the alcohol, and first of all, let me just clarify, yes, I am over 21, and in my country, I only need to be 18, so I can definitely drink legally for myself. Yes, I do like beers. They're quite refreshing on a nice hot day. Just crack open a cold lager or a cold IPA. Ooh, that's great. But some of my favorite beers are dark ones, which are quite popular in the UK, proper ales. Some of my favorites are Abbott's Ale and Old Peculiar. Old Peculiar is literally like syrup. It is that thick and dark. It is like a whole ass meal drinking that. It is delicious. Of course, I also like whiskies. One of my favorites is the Single Barrel JD, Jack Daniels. It's really ridiculously smooth. If you've ever had Jack Daniels and you know that like harsh alcohol thing that you get from most whiskies, it's really not there in the Single Barrel. It's super duper smooth and smoky. It's glorious. And also I quite like Beaumont, which is, I got a taster pack for my birthday this year, and it had like an age 15 years, and that was really, really good. Hoping to get another bottle of that very soon. Dowdy has asked, how did you feel when you played Warhammer 3 Early Access? A little bit sick. I was so excited, and I like proper wolfed down some lunch before we were set to play. And then once I got in, I was just overwhelmed with all the info and all the new units, and I was just loving every second of it. That's why some of the clips in the Warhammer 3 videos kind of crap, because I was just so excited. I just forgot that I was recording a video. I was like, oh my god, this game, I just want to play it. So yes, I do apologize for that, but it was really so much fun, and I felt super duper lucky. So thank all of you, and also, of course, thanks to Creative Assembly, and thanks Josh, if you don't know him already. He's the guy that does all the partner program stuff. He's an absolute legend. Show him some love. But on the flip side of this, it was also kind of like having a drop of water when you're in the middle of the desert. It was like, oh, this is really good, but now I remember how good water is. I just need some more. Saints Mafia has asked, which new Chaos God are you most interested in? How old were you when you started playing video games? And why are the Vampire Counts your favourite faction? Please elaborate. First of all, Nurgle, of course. Papa Plague looks like he's going to have a very interesting playstyle, kind of like Skrulk mixed with Vampire Counts, mixed with I don't know what, mixed with Chaos, baby. It's going to be fun. And your final question, Vampire Counts are just really super cool. I've always been interested in vampires, not fucking Twilight vampires, okay? Different types of vampires have always been really cool to me, and seeing them, I was just like, wow, these guys are really cool. All their units and monsters, they're really cool, and it just got me hooked into the game. And without playing the Vampire Counts, I probably might not have ever picked up Warhammer 2 and Warhammer 1 to begin with. Angus Mauer asked, have you ever considered branching out to different strategy games, maybe just on your Twitch channel? I actually have. I've been doing a lot of different games on the Thursday streams. I'm kind of cut back on those in the recent weeks just because I started a new job, and if I'm in the office and then I get back, I just get back and I'm like, oh, so you know, that's a little bit difficult. But yes, I have played quite a number of games. I've played RimWorld, XCOM, Empire at War, all sorts of stuff has been over on those Thursday streams. So if you want to catch random strategy games, then be sure to check out the Twitch channel and any of the VODs, of course. And also different video games on the channel, of course. I'd love to do more strategy stuff. I'd love to do some Iron Harvest, the Frostpunk, City Skylines. I have a whole list of games that I could potentially make videos for. I'd love to do a Factorio video, but getting back into that is literally like relapsing in like heroin or something. It's super duper bad. Sorry, YouTube algorithm. But oh my god, it's Cractorio for real. But yeah, there are loads of games I'd love to make videos for. It's just about finding what ones that you actually want to see. So if you want to see me make a video on anything, let me know. David Butterworth asked, what is the spiciest shirt in that fabulous collection of yours? Probably this one, the cat one. It's got cats in tacos on it. I saw this on Amazon years ago and like wishlisted it, and then someone bought me it, and it's super duper nice. Apart from the material, it's horrible. It's this gross, like plasticky, staticky material, and it just like sticks to your skin. It does not feel good, but it looks great, so you know, I'm willing to endure the pain. Lord 689, if you could create your own Total War Warhammer faction, what race, probably the vampire counts, type of lord, interest in the original mechanic would you create until it got nerfed? Of course, it's got to be the vampire counts, you know. I always stand that they're my favourite faction, so it only makes sense. I would probably have an extremely powerful necromancer that summons undead versions of enemies slain. So think about Rakav now, he can defeat enemy monsters and then enslave them. It's kind of like that, but for any enemy unit that you defeat, you can summon a weaker undead version of it. So handgunners, boom, undead ones. They're not very accurate, but you know, it's undead handgunners. Whilst that you just defeat a Cancer, boom, zombie Cancer, baby. How cool would this be? CA, hit me up. We can make this happen. Random Wingman, yet again. What started your Hawaiian shirts trademark on videos and streams? You know, I'm not too sure. I think we were going on holiday one year and I was like, I want a spicy shirt to, you know, tear up the Spanish hillside. And I just got my first one and I was like, I kind of like it, to be honest. I quite like wearing them in summer anyway. I think it's a fun look for a fun guy, of course. So I got a few more of them. And then when I was set to record a video, I can't remember which one it was. It might have been when The Hunter and the Beast was announced and I made the reaction video to that. I think that might have been the first spot of me on camera in the Hawaiian shirt. Someone please correct me here. But I just thought, you know what? It's something that's interesting. Something you remember me by. Hopefully one of the Hawaiian shirt guys. And then I realized that like 8 other people in Total War do it. Cody Bonds does it. Mage Kill does it. There's a few more. So I'm not unique at all, but hey, I still like the idea. B-Mag has asked, when and how did you learn to edit? Just learn via doing. I've never had any like formal teaching. I mean, we do like a little formal teaching in the apprenticeship that I did. I did a digital marketing apprenticeship. You learn very basic video editing, but before that, I already knew how to do it because I started with Sony Vegas, as you know, everyone did back in the day, and then moved over to Premiere Pro when I got this channel, and I haven't really looked back since. You just watch a couple of videos to get started on how to do the basic stuff, and then after that, you can work out more complicated stuff you need to. And to be honest, for most of the stuff that I do, I don't really need too many complex functions, so it is relatively straightforward. It's just, of course, time consuming, as all video editing is. If you want to learn video editing, my advice, just get footage of anything and then edit it into something and make it so that it's something that you would want to watch. It's difficult and it's time consuming, and there's not really a fast way to learn it other than doing it. Kerblo has asked, if you could be best friends with any legendary lord, which one would you choose? I feel like a dwarf like Grombrindle would be great to be friends with, just because you just go over to the halls of Karak and just have a massive barrel of ale together and just have a great night, ending some fisticuffs. Just feel like it'd be a grand time. Another one from the Graveguard of Sylvania. If you were to live in the Warhammer world, what would your race be and where would you live? To be honest, man, the Warhammer world looks like a drag. It's just constant war, suffering, chaos, Skaven, being raised as the undead, being assassinated by someone. I suppose the most fun would probably be somewhere in the Dark Elves, since you know they are rather indulgent. Wingman has asked, if you were going to be exploring one of these places, which would it be and why? Lustria, Skaven Blight, Sylvania, and a couple of others, but to be honest, I would not survive 10 seconds in any of these places. Have you seen me? None of them, baby. I'm staying at home. I'm good for exploring. Mark Black has asked, who is your favourite Warhammer 2 YouTuber? I actually don't watch any of the Warhammer 2 channels, and it's not because I'm really petty and thinking, well, I can't watch the competition. It's because if I watch Warhammer 2 and play it and make videos for it, I will get so bored of the game that I will not want to make videos for it. If I play something and make stuff about it and watch stuff about it, I just lose interest so quickly. So I don't watch them so I can continue making the content, because that's what I'd rather do. And also I don't watch Great Good just because his content fucking sucks. Love you, Nath. Brass Monkey has asked, any tips for new content creators? Okay, find something that matches these set of criteria. Something that you have a decent knowledge of, not like the super duper all-being amount of knowledge, but something you know enough about so you can teach people something. Next, something that people will search for. There's no point putting a video out there for your 0 subscribers if no one's going to be searching for it. If people search for it, then they can find it, and then you'll get subscribers, and you'll get views, and you'll get growth. Something that you can make a lot of content for. There's no point putting out a one-off video that does super duper well, and then you have nothing to follow it up with. That is the worst possible thing you can do, because then YouTube will be like, oh, you have this one video that has 10 gazillion views, and then all these tens of thousands of videos with 9 views. YouTube's gonna be like, what the hell are you doing? It's just gonna bury you. And then, of course, the most important one is something you enjoy. There's no point making content for something you don't care about, something you aren't passionate about, something you don't enjoy. I, believe it or not, still enjoy Warhammer 2, so that's why I continue to make videos for it. If I didn't, then I wouldn't. Otherwise, I'm just torturing myself to make content about something I don't care about, to be in a partner program that I don't care about, and I just wouldn't care. And I just get bored and disinterested and depressed about my life. So yes, something you enjoy. So if you find something that meets all 4 of these criteria, then you will be able to do all right. It might be really slow and it might not work out, but those are the best starting options that I can give you. I'm still learning this stuff. I don't know how to make a video that perfectly accelerates up to the moon. That ranking video, I thought, oh, this is going to do pretty well. I never thought I'd get like 100,000 views in its first month. And then some videos think, oh yeah, this one's going to do really well. And it does absolutely nothing. Okay, I'm still learning this stuff, but that's my best advice I can give. Rowan Alsheim says, what would your dream factions be for Warhammer 3? Now, I want to see all the unique factions in Warhammer 3, baby. You know, I want to see the Amazons. I want to see all sorts of weird lizards and anything. Any race that we could possibly have, the weirder the better. But I think the one I'm most excited for seeing, and I do pray that it comes, is Halflings, because, oh boy, they look like they would be so much fun. I'm talking literal units that are actually just chickens. I'm talking sheep, cavalry. I'm talking guys that are just smaller guys, just going and doing wacky shit. They'd be so much fun. I hope that they get added. Rainer Wong has asked, when will you collab with another content creator? Now, I have done a few in the past. I've done some Vermintide 2 content. I've worked with Venris, of course, Great Grudges, Cody Bonds as well. Cody's a great guy. He was super nice to talk to. And a couple of others, I believe. Oh, God, I'm going to get in trouble for not remembering. Noob Nave, of course. And then like a voice actor guy, who I'm not sure actually has a channel, but he's technically voice acted in some stuff, who's like Commander something. I'm not good at 40k lore, okay? Anyway, you can find the VODs if you go into the Vermintide thing. But I think in future, me and Great Grudges, or Nath, have actually got a video, well, a stream planned when Warhammer 3 is possible to play. We want to do a maybe 24-hour stream, or as long as it takes stream, of Nurgle and Slanesh taking over the whole map. Maybe an Immortal Empires, maybe just the campaign map that we get when Warhammer 3 launches. Either way, we want to do one of those campaigns co-op together, which will take quite a while. Yet another one from Graveguard of Sylvania. What Warhammer character would you have as your girlfriend? I have no idea. And the final question from Henry Tucker, is cereal a soup? Technically, I think it is. And that concludes, that is every question that I could think of. If your question didn't get answered, I do apologize. I'll probably do another one of these in future, so be sure to stick a question in there as and when I do that. But yes, thank you so very much for watching this video, and thank you, every single one of you, all 20,500, however many it is at the time of recording. I can't thank you enough. It really does mean the world to me. This is, again, I never imagined that I would get to this point, so you really are making this young British lad's dreams come true. Yes, thank you so much for coming back video after video. Thank you for seeing this channel as something that you deem as worth subscribing. I know that some people, me included, when I'm watching a video, I'm like, is this worth subscribing? Nah, and I have to watch like 20 videos, and I'm like, okay, I should probably sub to this guy. Like, I just realized the last week, I wasn't subscribed to the Slow-Mo guys. I've been watching their shit for years, okay? So, thank you so very much. It really does mean the world to me. And thank you to those of you that actually support the channel financially, be it on Twitch, be it on YouTube, be it on buying merch, be it on doing anything. It's really incredible. I never thought that I'd have that sort of community. Of course, Kobe said so, Nifty Norm, you guys always support me in the Uncleans ones here. It's really incredible. And I know I say it all the time, but I can't thank each and every one of you enough. So for now, I've been COLONELDAMNEDERS, and I will see you next turn. Thank you.